Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We will be starting in about 5 minutes. Good evening and welcome to our virtual senior class meeting. My name is Jewel Johnson and I'm the counseling director here at New Smyrna Beach High School. Thank you for joining us this evening. I would like to take a few minutes to explain the format for this evening. Ms. Weeks, the senior class school counselor, and Ms. Hepburn, the college and career counselor, will be the presenters this evening. The chat box is open if you would like to ask questions. Ms. Stotch, the data administrator, and I will do our best to answer your questions. Again, thank you for attending this very important meeting for our seniors. We are looking forward to working with you. Ms. Weeks will begin the presentation by discussing graduation requirements.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, and good evening, everyone. To start, I'm just going to say that I realize, and you all realize, that this is the year like no other so far. We've had a lot of change and a lot of adjustments that we've been making along the way, but I have to tell you the senior class has been phenomenal. Wonderful communicators, just great kids, and I really enjoy working with all of them. So as we move forward with the presentation, we're going to talk about first and foremost how to stay connected. Give me one moment, I'm just having a technical issue with the PowerPoint.
Mute your mic for a minute. Just a moment.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so to stay connected, because we have many of our students who are off campus for a number of reasons, whether it's through dual enrollment or they're taking online coursework, we want them to stay connected and know what's going on campus. One way to do that is to check the New Smyrna Beach High School webpage often. We have important announcements on our homepage, and we also list the morning announcements every single day on that page. And how to access those announcements, you go to the website, nsbhigh.com, you click on activities, and then you look for Kudabytes/news announcements. And you'll see the daily events, everything that the students hear during third period, you'll be able to read online. So I want to make you aware of that and encourage you to check that very often. Next, I'm going to review the graduation requirements, which are so very important. And we do go over this every year from 9, 10, 11, and 12. But this year, of course, senior year is so important to make sure that all those boxes are checked and that everyone is in line with their requirements. First and foremost, we discussed English. Students need 4 full credits of English by the time they graduate. With regards to math requirements, 1 credit in Algebra 1, which is also, and they will take an EOC in that course. I know you don't see that listed, but Algebra 1 students do take an end of course exam. That is worth 30% of their final grade. They will also take geometry and 2 additional math courses. So the grand total is 4 math credits. With regards to science, each student must take 1 credit in biology. They will take an EOC with that as well, worth 30% of their final grade. 1 credit in a physical science course, that can be either earth space, physical science, chemistry, or physics. And then 1 additional science credit, and that could be of their choice. That could be marine science, that could be anatomy and physiology. We have a variety of other science courses. So 3 credits are required of science. With regards to social studies, students need 1 credit in world history, 1 in United States history, and they will take an EOC with that course worth 30% of their final grade. This class is a little bit different because last year, because of COVID, the EOC for US history was waived, so our 11th grade students did not take that. They will not be responsible for taking that EOC this year unless they want to qualify for a scholar designation. And I'll discuss that a little bit later when the opportunity will be for students to take that EOC for scholar designation. The other social studies requirements are half a credit in economics and half in United States government. Physical education, students need half a credit in personal fitness and half in any other PE course. If a student has participated in 2 full seasons of a sport at the high school, then the PE requirement can be waived. In order to have that waiver, students need to fill out a form, and that participation needs to be validated in our athletic office. So if that is a situation that your student is in where they know they participated in 2 seasons of a sport at the high school, they should see me and we can generate that form and get that going. Students also need 1 credit in a performing or fine art, and then 8 elective credits. So the grand total is 24 total credits. With regards to GPA, another graduation requirement is students must need a 2.0 GPA to graduate. Keep in mind that will not be rounded up. So if they have a 1.9, it's a 1.9. So we really don't want to hover in that 2.0 area. We want it to be well above the 2 mark so that students are in line to graduate. Other areas where GPA can have an impact, of course, graduation, your class rank, eligibility for a number of things, scholarships, college admission, and of course, Bright Future Scholarship looks at GPA as well, cumulative GPA. As far as other graduation requirements, we do have some assessments that are required to graduate. One is the Florida English, it's called the FSA ELA. It's an English Language Arts Assessment. Students take that in 10th grade and they need to earn a 3 or better on that test. If they do not pass that with a 3 or better, students will be continued to roster to take that test. And if they do not pass the FSA ELA, they can take the ACT or the SAT and earn concordant scores on that to meet that requirement. We recently offered the ACT NCR at the high school last week, so we did have a number of seniors take advantage of that opportunity. The Algebra 1 end of course exam is also another test that must be passed in order to graduate, and students take that at the conclusion of their Algebra 1 course or Algebra 1B course. If they do not pass that, they have, this particular class still has the opportunity to take the Math PERT to earn a concordant score, or the SAT or ACT, or the PSAT Math. Other end of course exams that students will take to graduate are the Geometry end of course exam, Biology, and US History, but of course for a number of our current seniors, they did not take that US History EOC because of COVID last spring. We do have another diploma option, and that is the 18 credit accelerated diploma. The difference between the two are that instead of 8 elective credits required, students need 3. Physical education is not required under the 18 credit diploma, and no online course is required. All other graduation requirements for the 24 credit standard diploma must be met, including all assessments. So they'd still need to take the FSA ELA and the Algebra 1 EOC and all of the other tests that I mentioned in the previous slides. Okay. One thing a lot of students ask about, and they ask about it even starting in 9th grade, are the requirements to walk in white at graduation. And this is an honor and a tradition at our school. And students, you know, they work towards that all through high school. we have an application that we give seniors in their senior year to fill out and list all the requirements that they need to complete in order to walk in white at graduation. This year, we would like that application to be submitted by April 2nd, and that's a very firm deadline this year. And it's very important that students have all those requirements met at that time. One is a 3.5 cumulative weighted GPA, 10 honors, AP, and/or dual enrollment courses. So that's the combination of those. An 1100 on the SAT or a 23 on the ACT, and 75 pre-approved community service hours. And again, the deadline to complete all these requirements is April 2nd. No applications will be considered after that deadline. To talk a little bit more about community service hours, because we do get a lot of questions about that. Students, in order for us to accept the community service hours and log them onto your transcript, you have to watch the PowerPoint presentation on our website and complete a post-test and submit that to our school counseling office. If you attended a community service workshop that we offered in 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, that will suffice as well. We no longer offer the workshop, but we have the PowerPoint presentation because that's much more convenient for students than having to carve out time to go to the meetings that we used to hold. So that's very important. That PowerPoint contains information about what counts and doesn't count for service hours, so students aren't wasting their time doing something that's not going to count. It gives you information on how to complete your log sheets and how to submit that information. So it's very important that they pay close attention to that information. There's also some suggestions on there for volunteer opportunities, and we do have students ask about that a lot, so they offer some helpful suggestions on there. Where community service comes in handy, of course, we talked about walking in white. The Distinguished Scholar Diploma requires 100 hours, and then of course Bright Futures. For the top tier, it's 100 hours. For the Medallion Scholar, 75 hours, and for the Vocational Gold Seal, 30 hours. So of course, very, very important that students are working on their hours and getting them submitted. Another area where community service hours are very much valued are in student scholarship and college applications. Giving back to the community is just a wonderful thing to do, and it's very much valued by those scholarship committees that evaluate applications. So please encourage your seniors to focus on that this year as well. And then to talk a little bit about diploma designations. These are basically, it's a seal that goes on a student's diploma indicating some distinguished honors that they've done through high school. And it is announced at graduation when they walk the stage. It will announce whether or not they earned a Distinguished Scholar Diploma. Requirements for that honor is a 3.5 or higher overall weighted GPA, 3.5 weighted cumulative GPA on all AP courses, 100 hours of community service. Students must earn one or more of the below scores, 1100 on SAT or 26 on ACT, 2 years of the same world language, complete a minimum of 4 AP courses, pass all state EOCs with a 3 or higher, or the equivalent test, AP test of a 3 or higher. 3 or higher on a minimum of 2 AP exams. So of course, this is a lot of information to digest, but it will be posted for you to review on our website even after this evening. When it comes to passing all state EOCs with a 3 or higher, I'd like to just draw a little bit of attention to that mark, because we just discussed that all of our juniors did not get to take the United States History EOC. So that is still a state requirement for this particular diploma, not to graduate, but for this honor. We will allow those seniors who did not have the opportunity to take the U.S. History EOC, we will allow them to have the opportunity to take it in December here on our campus. They will have to prepare, of course, for that test, and there will be some resources on the Ms. Croak's testing assessment website, where students can review for that EOC so they can refresh the material that they learned last year. Scholar designation is another designation, again, a seal that goes on the diploma when a student graduates. So in addition to meeting the 24 credit standard high school diploma requirements, a student has to pass their 10th grade ELA test, earn 1 credit in Algebra 2, pass the Geometry EOC, earn 1 credit in Statistics or an equally rigorous math course, pass the Biology 1 EOC, earn 1 credit in Chem or Physics, 1 credit in a course equally rigorous to Chem or Physics, pass the US History EOC, again here the EOC comes into play again, earn 2 credits in the same world language, and earn at least 1 credit in an AP, IB, ACE, or dual enrollment course, and pass the corresponding AP or IB exam. And the last diploma designation is the merit designation. In addition to meeting 24 credit standard high school diploma, a student must attain 1 or more industry certifications from this established list. And I'll have a couple more to add to this actually. But Culinary Academy, Engineering, Criminal Justice, Agri-Science, Medical, Sports Marketing. And then we had a couple additions to our academy family this year. And one was the Education Academy and also the Aquaculture Academy. So there's industry certifications possible within those academies as well. And next I'm going to pass on the presentation piece to Ms. Hepburn, our college career counselor, and she's going to discuss dual enrollment and the dual enrollment process.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mrs. Hepburn, your college and career counselor, and tonight I'll be talking with you about dual enrollment as well as Bright Futures and FASFA. So we'll go over those topics, but we'll start off with dual enrollment. As you all may know, and if you don't know, dual enrollment is an acceleration program that allows eligible high school students to simultaneously earn high school and college credit. Now, our dual enrollment process, it takes us to knowing what you have to have in order to qualify to be a dual enrolled student. You all have 1 more semester of high school to receive this wonderful benefit if you're not already a dual enrolled student. So I'm going to talk to you about the requirements as well as maintaining those requirements so that you still are dual enrollment eligible. So all students must have a 3.0 minimum unweighted GPA. So that's an unweighted GPA of a 3.0 or higher. They are required to take the PERT test. The PERT for dual enrollment is being offered October 30th. Please write that date down if you are interested in becoming a dual enrolled student beginning in January. You must sit for the test on October 30th. Also, you must register for this test by this Friday, which is October 19th. The last day to register to sit for the PERT is October 19th. If you want to register, you must go see Ms. Croak in Building 1, room 122 to sign up. Remember again, the deadline is Friday, October 19th, and the test will be held on campus at school on October 30th. One other important announcement is it relates to PERT testing. PERT is not being offered at DSC, so the only option you have to take the test is October 30th to sign up for dual enrollment for January. Make sure that you sign up if you are interested in taking dual enrolled classes. Students who are enrolled in the fall, we had, like Ms. Weeks was talking about, we had extenuating circumstances that allowed some students to qualify for dual enrollment classes, although they hadn't sat for the PERT. So those students, if you were sitting in a math class or an English class, You will not need to retake the PERT as long as you pass that class. If you don't pass the math or English class, then you will have to sit for the PERT. So the rule says from Mrs. Goldis, it says students who were enrolled in the fall under the emergency order guidelines but were not eligible for math and or ENC 1101 will need to take the PERT in order to take those courses in the spring. So remember to take the PERT if you're interested. The requirements are posted on the screen for you to obtain in order to be dual enrolled qualified. For reading, you need a 106, and for reading you need a 106, and writing you need a 103. Those scores both together will allow you to take ENC 1101. So you must meet the reading and writing requirement in order to sit for an English class at DSC. For math, you have to have a 114 to take intermediate algebra, or you need a 123 for college algebra, which is MAC 1105. Remember, this coming spring, you will only be eligible to take 2 online courses. So that's a lot different than what you were taking this semester. So if you are a dual enrolled student, you will only be allowed to take 2 online courses in January. And remember that you can only take 15 credits per semester maximum. Some of you all, if you're almost finished with your degree at Daytona State, they do make exemptions, but by case. So the maximum number of credit hours you can take is 15 credit hours per semester. All right, the next thing we want to talk about is maintaining that 3.0 or higher unweighted GPA. So making sure that all of your classes you're passing all of your classes in order to continue with being a dual enrolled student. If you are in a vocational program at DSC, you must have a 2.0. Maintain a 2.0 or higher cumulative even with your college courses. So it's also always important to make sure that you're passing all of your college courses, you're passing all of your high school courses with the grades that continue to qualify you to become a dual enrolled student. Earning a C or better in all of your courses. So if you strive to earn a C or better in your courses, you will be well on your way of making that achievement to maintaining dual enrollment status. Now, this is one topic that is we're going to have to make sure that we do a good job at following the deadline. The deadline for registration for dual enrollment is November 20th. That is the last day students can register for dual enrollment courses. And I know I'm kind of going out of order of the slide, but making sure that you know the last day that you can register for dual enrollment courses is going to be November 20th. That's going to be very, very important. Now, in order to register for your classes, next week, October 19th through the 22nd, DSC is hosting Advising Week. So all of you all who are looking to find the courses that you want to take for spring 2021, next week, October 19th through the 22nd is the perfect time to schedule your appointment with your DSC advisor so that you can select the courses that you will take when your registration date opens. So you're going to be prepared. If you start October 19th through the 22nd, by October 26th, which is the first day that some students can register, you will already know the courses that you are going to register for. So Advising Week begins October 19th through the 22nd. That's when the spring schedule at DSC will be available for you to view, as well as select your courses. They're hosting a variety of appointment ways that you can have an appointment. On-campus visit with the academic advisor are by appointments only. Students can schedule by calling 386-506-3602. They also will offer advising via the telephone if you call 386-506-3661. They also have virtual meetings as well as face-to-face meetings, and you can also have an advising session via email by emailing dualenrollment@daytonastate.edu. So the spring registration dates that are before you, October 26th will be the date that any student with 45 or more credit hours can select their courses. October 27th will be the day that students with 44 to 30 credit hours can register. October 28th, any student with 29 to 15 credit hours. And then October 29th through November 20th will be open registration for all students and first-time DSC students. One thing to remember is that all of your registration forms will be handled via email. So the process to process your dual enrollment form could take up to 3 days. So you want to remember that you can't wait until the last minute to submit your registration, or you may run out of time. So although the deadline says November 20th, if you don't submit your application or your course request to Mrs. Weeks, who is your school counselor, if you do it on November 19th, you may have run out of time. So make sure in your mind, I would put November 17th is the last day that you could submit a form to Ms. Weeks so that she can get the form emailed back to you in a timely manner. So everything is going to be handled via email, like I said. So the first step, what you would do is you're going to consult with your DSC advisor. You're going to consult with your DSC advisor next week, beginning Monday through Friday, 19th through the 22nd, to select the courses that you would take for DSC. After you have selected those courses, you are then going to send Mrs. Weeks an email. The email is to be sent to keweeks@volusia.k12.fl.us. That's Ms. Weeks' email address. When you send her that email address, you're going to tell her what courses you have selected at DSC. You're going to need to tell her your course number. For example, a course number would be ENC 1101. You're also going to include the class number, which is a 4-digit number. It is not the section number. It will only contain digits, and there will be 4 of them. So you're going to send the course name, course number, which is ENC 1101, class number, which is 4 digits, and you're also going to tell her if the class is online by saying online yes or online no. Sending those three the course descriptions for each class that you're taking, she will then electronically send you the dual enrollment registration form for you to submit to Daytona State for submission. She'll also include with you the email as to where you will submit that form. So please, please, please make sure you adhere to the registration rules to make sure that you're registering in a timely manner. I'm going to switch back just for a second for Ms. Weeks to talk, and then I'll join you back in a second to speak about FASFA and Bright Futures.
Thank you, Ms. Hepburn. The dual enrollment process is a very, very important one. And of course, those timelines are extremely important. Many of the seniors who are dual enrolled students, they are very, very familiar with the process already. Because we went through it and learned it together this summer as they registered for fall courses. So they're pretty familiar with it. It's really a matter of abiding by the timelines. That's really the most important thing, because it does take me a few days to get through the number of students that have requests and make sure that they're still in line with graduation requirements and that they work into their schedule in a workable form. So again, please pay close attention to those deadlines. If you are a current dual enrolled student, please check your Falcon email often. You get important information from Daytona State College, and you're going to need that to check that often for their updates and alerts and a lot of good information there. So please check your Falcon mail from DSC often. Okay, and now we're going to talk a little bit about the college application process because we are really right in the thick of that right now. And one of the first items that I want every senior to do who is planning on a post-secondary education is to request a copy of their official high school transcript. There's a couple of different ways to do that. One is online, and I've provided the information below on the screen to complete a records release authorization form, and you can email that to our registrar, and I've provided her email address on this slide. If you're a student who's on campus, you can come into the school counseling office and pick up a records release form and complete that. And then you will submit that to our secretary, Ms. Ursini, and she'll process that for you. Students can get a hard copy of their transcript, or they can have an electronic copy that's sent to them through email, and they'll indicate that on the records release authorization form as well. The dollar fee that is referred to on the slide you're seeing, that is for paper copies, not electronic copies. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear. So the reason seniors will need a copy of their own transcript is because they're going to need it as a working document as they're completing their college applications. They will need information like their class rank, their cumulative GPA. They will need basically every class they've ever taken for high school credit and the grades that they've earned, because they're going to be asked for that information a number of times. So please encourage your senior to come down and get that form, or to send an email request for that form. So I mentioned that seniors, as they're completing their applications, are going to need the transcript, and this is one very important reason why. There's a number of colleges and universities that require the SAR report. It's a self-reported student academic record. And what that means is they're going to have the student basically transfer all of the information that's on their transcript onto this report. And that's going to be submitted to the colleges, and they're going to use that information as part of the decision-making process on whether or not they're accepted or not. So it has to be accurate, has to be very accurate, because when schools get the final transcript for a graduate at the end of the school year, if that information doesn't match up, then their acceptance can be rescinded. So we don't want any seniors that, oh, I got a D in a course, I'm just going to fluff that and say I got an A. That's going to get caught. So they need to be very accurate, you know, as they report this information on the SAR. A lot of colleges receive questions every year, and we do in the counseling office as well, on how to complete the SAR. It can be a little bit confusing. So almost every website that I've looked on recently for the colleges in Florida have how-to videos posted on there, and which is wonderful. One in particular that I put at the top of this slide is FSU. Florida State has a video, step-by-step instructions on how to complete that SAR, commonly asked questions, and they're really trying to make this as easy as they can for students. So keep that in mind. This year, again, kind of like no other, we had our current senior class last year missed out on the opportunity to take the SAT and ACT last spring, and even a lot of the administrations over the summer were canceled. So what are colleges looking for? How are they going to evaluate our students? Well, some colleges are still going to use test scores. Some will be test optional, and you can find that out by going to the individual school's website, meaning are they going to require ACT or SAT scores? Some will, some will not. So they're going to look at other areas to determine if a student is a good fit for their university. They're going to look at the strength of a transcript. They want to see academic rigor in the senior year. They don't want to see seniors who are going really light and fluffy and not taking any rigorous classes. So strength of transcript is going to be an important tool this year for them to evaluate students. The resume, students' resumes, meaning what else are they doing outside of the school day? Have they participated in any clubs? Have they secured part-time employment? That's very important. I think that shows responsibility and work ethic, and they learn real life skills through employment. Have they participated in any sports? Have they had any experiences, travel experiences, all kinds of different things that are very relevant to creating the student that they are right now. And it doesn't always have to be strictly academic or athletic. Essays are going to be an important piece this year, and I'm hearing that more and more as I do my own research, that college admissions officers, when they read your transcripts and evaluate your applications, they want to know what your story is. They don't want to see lists just over and over again of, you know, I participated in this for 4 years. I was in this club for 1 year. They want to know more about you. They want it to be more personal. They want to know what makes you unique and what you're going to contribute to their campus. So I can't say enough about the essay and what I'm hearing from different college admissions offices right now. So students, take the time to write something that's meaningful. Take the time to have it proofread and evaluated to make sure that it's organized and your ideas flow and that there's some uniqueness about it. Letters of recommendation. A number of colleges and scholarships organizations will require letters of recommendation. The information that we need to know and your teachers need to know to write a really nice letter for you are things like, what have you done, participated in? You basically give us a copy of your resume. We have brag sheets, what we call brag sheets, in the school counseling office as well, where a student can come down, pick that up, and fill out the areas where it talks about interests, hobbies, activities, community service. When we have that information in front of us, we couple that with what we already know about you as a person and a character and a student, and we can write a really nice letter. So students, if you do need letters of recommendation, please ask at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. And that reason being that I've got well over 400 seniors and I want to do a good job and I need the time to really write something that's going to put you in the best light. So I appreciate some time to do that. Another thing to focus on is whether or not a student has, I put this in quotes, demonstrated interest in the college or university. If admissions counselors see that you've demonstrated interest, which means have you gone on a school tour or even a virtual tour? Have you signed up for a virtual tour? Have you done some research about the institution? Have you attended to any of their particular programs? Have you really taken a strong interest in that school, or is it just another school on your list? So I think that's something important to consider. And I've already addressed the letters of recommendation in my previous slide, but of course this will be here for you to view at a later date as well. Please pay close attention to application requirements and deadlines. The university's admissions web pages are very well set up. They're very organized and they have checklists and very clear information for students to follow. So one of the things that's important to show your college readiness is, can you follow directions? Can you pay attention to detail? Can you do the, follow what they're asking you to do? So please follow these instructions carefully and adhere to the deadlines. And I only put a couple of schools on there, of course, where there's many schools that students are going to be applying to. But for example, University of Florida, their admissions deadline is November 1st, so that's actually right around the corner. Florida State is December 1st, and that'll be here before you know it as well. So students should be working on their applications as we speak. Do not hesitate to contact the admissions counselors at the universities you're applying to. That is their job to answer questions. It's their job to kind of walk you through processes that maybe you're unsure about. And it's great for you to establish a connection with them. Your admissions counselor that might be in charge of Volusia County that might be the same admissions counselor that's reviewing your application once you send it in. So why not create a line of communication, some conversation, some demonstrated interest with that admissions counselor? I think that's a great idea. And there's certain things that might just stand out to them about you. And when they review your application, they'll remember that. SAT and ACT dates. Of course, this, we go back, this caused a little bit of stress and anxiety for our juniors who are college bound into their senior year. Everyone's rushing to get some test dates in. So the SAT and ACT services, they did add additional test dates to accommodate students. And some of our seniors have already tested once or twice. So this is the list of test dates that are coming up and the registration deadlines. Pay close attention to those. You've got to register for a test at least a month before it occurs. So you need to really be on top of this. You fully register online. You don't come down to the guidance office to register with us. You go online to the websites listed on this page. You create an account for yourself, and then you register for the test. You pay online, you print your test ticket out, everything occurs online in that way. If you do qualify for a fee waiver, then you're going to come down to the school counseling office and we'll provide that for you. Students who qualify for free and reduced lunch they can receive up to 4 waivers, 2 for ACT and 2 for SAT. So come to the school counseling office if you feel that you fall into that category and we'll assist you. Okay, I'm going to switch things back to Ms. Hepburn to talk about the all-important financial aid process.
All right, I know everybody wants money. Everybody wants money, and college is quite expensive, so we want to know how we can get the most bang for our buck when we go to college. So federal student aid is financial help for students enrolled in eligible programs at participating schools to cover a 4-year or a 2-year public or private education. So those expenses would include tuition, fees, room and board, books, supplies, and transportation. So FASFA is the free application for federal student aid. I know that everybody wants to receive Bright Futures, and a lot of you all are on the path to be eligible to qualify for Bright Futures. In order to receive scholarship money, any grant, any loan, any work study program that you might participate in when you go to college, you have to complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Now this application opened on October 1st. So October 1st through March 26th of next year, you are eligible to sign up for FAFSA. Even if you feel like your parents are going to pay for your college tuition, if you are planning to receive any type of grant, any type of loan, or any work study, you have to complete the FAFSA. If you go to our webpage, www.nsbhigh.com, you can find the link to complete the FAFSA. You can watch the tutorial that is posted there that will walk you through the steps and what you need to do in order to complete the FAFSA. We would like this year for us to have at least a 90% rate, a 90% completion of all students completing the FAFSA. Even if you're undecided about going to college, it wouldn't hurt if you completed the FAFSA. So even if you're not planning to go to college, please, please, please complete the FAFSA, because you may change your mind. And if you change your mind after sitting out a semester, you still need the FAFSA if you plan on going the following January. So please, please, please make sure you go and complete the FAFSA. We're working with a challenge to have 90% of our senior class complete the FAFSA. So please help us at obtaining this goal. Now, the next thing is Bright Futures. Bright Futures is a scholarship program that will provide you with financial assistance to cover your academic studies. Now, the requirements are listed on the screen for you if you are planning to become eligible for the Florida Academic Scholars, the FAS Award. You must have 4 English, 4 math, 3 natural science, 3 social studies, and 2 world language credits. Then your GPA has to be a 3.5 or higher. You need a test score of a 29 on the ACT or higher, or 1330 or higher on the SAT. This is where we talk about community service hours, like Ms. Weeks mentioned before. If you are planning to receive the FAS award, you have to have 100 hours of community service. So please, please, please start documenting your hours so that they can be loaded and logged onto your transcript, so that when we send your transcript in, those hours are already documented. A lot of students like to wait until the last minute to record those volunteer hours, but please, please, please do your part to make sure that you're loading your hours, that you're logging your hours, and that they are actually approved hours for you to take. The second award is the Florida Medallion Scholars Award, which is the FMS. You also have to have the 16 high school course credits, and within this, your GPA weighted needs to be a 3.0 to a 3.5. Your test scores would need to be on the ACT a 25 or higher, and on the SAT a 1210 or higher. And then you also need 75 hours of community service. Please, please, please make sure that you do your part in making sure you've documented your hours. One important thing I want you all to know is the whole entire senior class, we will have Bright Futures registration here at school. Those dates will be the last week of November, starting to the first 2 weeks of December. So the last week of November and the first week of December, we will have our registration for Bright Futures. You will complete your Bright Futures registration here on campus, making sure that you input all of the pertinent information correctly, so you'll be assisted here while you're on campus. If you have live classes, or if you have part-time classes at DSC and you're not on our campus, please reach out to us during the week of November. Let me see if I can find the dates for you. It's on my paper. November, my phone. I'm gonna look at the dates. I'm just looking up the dates so I can give you the dates so that you'll have the dates for Bright Futures registration. But please make sure that you're here. And this next slide is just going over the Florida Gold Seal, which is the vocational scholar that you could be eligible for. I'm going to come back and give you the dates after I go over this. The Florida Gold Seal can only be used to fund a career education or certificate program. You must meet the general requirements for Bright Futures, achieve the required weighted minimum GPA of a 3.0 in a non-elective high school course. You have to take at least 3 full credits in a single career and technical education program, such as medical engineering. Achieve the required minimum 3.5 unweighted GPA in the career education courses, as well as achieving the required minimum score on the ACT, SAT, or the Florida Post-Secondary Education Readiness Test, which is known as the PERT. There's also a chart below that you can review to find out that information and the test scores that's required. In this scholarship, you must make sure that you have 30 community service hours. So remembering that our community service hours are very, very important, and these are the scores that are needed for the Florida Gold Seal. So on the screen, you can see what the requirements are. If you have any questions related to Bright Futures, you can make sure that you go to visit their website for all information, as well as how much money they will give to you if you are eligible to receive those benefits. I'm going to hand you back to Ms. Ms. Weeks, and I thank you all for listening to me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm Ms. Hepburn. I'm in the Career and Counseling Department. Feel free to reach out to me anytime you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to help you. Oh, and one thing I forgot is the dates. I don't want to forget the dates. The dates are November 30th through December 11th. So we will be going over Bright Futures. Your registration will take place November 30th through December 11th. And we're going to do them through your classes. So make sure you're present every day so you don't miss what day we come to your class. All right, November 30th through the 11th. Thank you all and have a good night.
Okay, thanks again for your attention so long. We appreciate it. So just kind of a recap of things that seniors need to be focusing on right now. Meeting with college representatives, whether that is in person, online, virtually. We do we've published some virtual college night information on our website. So please pay close attention to that. Continue scholarship searches. I've already had a number of seniors asking about the local scholarship program, and we typically have applications available for that in December, and then we hold a scholarship boot camp in January. And that's where we help students with their applications, and we have folks from the community organizations that offer the scholarships come in and assist our students. Not sure exactly what that will look like this year, if we have to tweak that at all to do some things virtually, but we still most certainly want to help our students when they're applying for the local scholarships. They will be able to see a list of those on our website. There's at least 40 or 50 that start to populate around December, and they'll be able to see what the requirements are and the applications and the essay topics as well. Of course, the FAFSA that Ms. Hepburn went over is so very important. The earlier you apply, the better. Once funding is distributed from colleges, at some point they don't have as much funding to give. So earlier is definitely better. Complete your college applications. Everybody's kind of in the thick of that right now. I'm getting a lot of things coming through Common App to my way, through Coalition, through Send EDU. These are online sites that students complete their applications through. So I'm liking that there's more activity there, and kids are really working on that process. Take the ACT and/or SAT. We are offering an in-school SAT on October 27th for all of our seniors. And that is free of charge, and they do not have to go through the registration process for that. They're automatically rostered. Now, if you happen to be a student who is on Volusia Live, or you're not setting foot on school campus at all, then I would like you to reach out to Ms. Croak, our testing coordinator, and just verify that you are indeed rostered and that you will be on school grounds that day to take the test. So that's very important. But it's a wonderful opportunity for all of our seniors to be able to take that test and have another attempt for their college or college scores or Bright Future scores. Of course, registering for Bright Futures, Ms. Hepburn just discussed that, and the dates that we're going to go through that with our students. Please remain committed to your grades and to looking for service opportunities and just building your overall resume too. Like I said, this year's been kind of odd, but kids are really finding some unique ways to build their resume. And we have a lot of students who are working and they're supporting their families and doing some really wonderful things. And it's all relevant. It's all relevant. And believe me, colleges know that. They know this is a very different year, and they're going to be looking for different things. And they're also going to be, I think, pretty understanding of people's circumstances. So I would like to make mention of the ASVAB test too. It's not listed on here, but we have a number of students who are interested in the military, and they're meeting with the different recruiters from the different branches and, you know, starting that plan, that next stage. If they are interested in the military, they should be taking what's called the ASVAB, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. And we're going to offer that on our campus in November. And how students can sign up for that is they come down to the school counseling office, and we have a clipboard with our secretary, and they just write their name on that they would like to take the test. And then we'll offer it another time in February. So we'll have 2 administrations of the ASVAB test. And then when they get the results back, they do come to our school, and they can use that information when they sit down with a recruiter to talk about potential careers that they may be eligible for within the military. So we do have students going all different directions after graduation. We want to make sure we address everybody's plan and get them to where they want to be. So just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Counseling appointment procedures. In order for seniors to come in and meet with me, I am at school every day before school. Just as you would come in to see a teacher for office hours, you can come in and meet with me without an appointment, and during lunch. And we do have 2 lunches this year. We have an A lunch and a B lunch, and I'm available during both of those times. And that's, again, without an appointment. Students are pretty good with technology now too, so they are reaching out via email, as they've done all summer long, to just try to work on their plan, have questions answered, and hopefully, you know, I've been helpful that way. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than I'd like to get back to some emails, and that's just the sheer volume. There's just a number of them coming through, but I will certainly support you in any way that I can. And I am, again, the students have been wonderful. The seniors have been patient. The parents have been amazing. And I just really appreciate it. And we've got some great kids here at this school. That being said, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in tonight, for asking some great questions in our chat. And I know you may have follow-up questions to tonight. And please send your questions our way. We're going to hang on here for at least 5 more minutes for you to continue to ask questions in the chat. And you know, maybe we can even answer some that come through the chat on the live format. So please take this time right now to put some questions forth that we can assist with. So I'm just going to hop on for a second. I know a lot of the questions were answered via the chat boxes already, but please know that this presentation is being recorded and will be posted on our site. So if you want to view the slideshow, if you want to hear some of the responses again, it will be there available for you to review. So, and please let others know that could not attend tonight, that to please tune in and watch the presentation again.